Happy Monday, Grizz Nation. Welcome into 3 Point Stands presented by that drink right there, Mountain Dew. I am Meghan Triplett. That is John Roser. And we need some caffeine in our lives because Sunday was jammed packed. NFL is back. Week 1 just wrapped up. I mean, we got some games tonight, but overall, Roser, your stance on what we got to see week 1 on that first Sunday, so many games.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I was so pumped for the NFL yesterday to be back at a full slate of games, and it did not disappoint at all. Not one team I was more impressed with than some others, but it was just super awesome to have football back.
And I'm surprised that you're so happy because your 49ers didn't get a W in week 1.
Yeah, that's a sore subject right there. That is a sore subject. I'm not surprised. Arizona is going to be. I think Arizona. A lot of people think Arizona is going to be, contend for a playoff spot this year. So, they look good in week 1. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Kyler Murray had a good game. DeAndre Hopkins had a great game. So when you look at that, and they had some career nights, it's okay. It's first game. No need to get too upset or mad. However, I will say week 1, watching Tom Brady get a loss, get an L, throwing 2 interceptions, that was beautiful for me to see. I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I think he's a great football player, obviously, rightfully so, 6-time Super Bowl champion. So, I get it. However, I like seeing it because there's so much hype around this Buccaneers team that at some point it was getting to be really exhausting, and I was tired of seeing it. But as anyone knows, when you get a new team like the Buccaneers, they have different personnel, they have an offense going on, and you saw that they weren't on the same page with certain play calls. It made sense. It's just week 1, but it was great to see him take an L and Cam Newton in a Patriots jersey. I don't know if I will ever get used to seeing that, but when he scored that first touchdown, he ran it into the end zone, he spiked the ball. It was so great to see because they got a shot of Robert Kraft right afterwards, and I literally died. That was hilarious. It's something that it's literally 2020. Cam Newton in a Patriots jersey, let's go.
And shout out to Anthony Miller, former Memphis Tiger, called the game-winning touchdown pass from Mitchell Trubisky in the Bears' opening win over the Lions.
Well, you had to bring Lions fans they're still not over that. You had a big lead, a 17-point lead, and you let Trubisky beat you, a guy we all talked bad about. A lot of people didn't want him even playing, and he scored 3 touchdowns. Lions fans, I feel for you. You might need to get a little worried. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. It's week 1. It's week 1. Now, another game that was going on during the madness of the NFL there was an NBA also game in the afternoon I feel like not a lot of people got to see, but when you saw the score, you're like, what happened? Clippers had a huge lead over the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Nuggets were able to come back in that second half, outscoring them, I think almost by double what they scored. And now we have a game 7 between the Nuggets and the Clippers. What is going on?
I mean, this is the only, I have thought when it comes down to it, the Clippers are the best team in the league. But this worries me because this is not the first time they have done this. They blew a big lead on Friday night. They blew another one, yesterday. We watched them blow leads against the Mavericks. It's not the first time they've blown a big lead in the bubble. So that does concern me a lot about them. You have to give credit to Denver. I mean, they are amazing when they're facing elimination. They're I think 6-1 or something when they faced elimination. So you have to give them credit. But yeah, it does worry me about the Clippers that they blow these big leads.
I know everyone keeps talking about is there a really big Clippers curse? When you look at this Denver Nuggets, they are 3-1. They were down 3-1 against the Utah Jazz. Now they're down 3-1 against the Clippers, and now they have forced a game 7. And when you talked about how good this Clippers team is, and you look at the players, even the different roster, you just automatically think Clippers, Clippers, Clippers. And you got Doc Rivers as your coach. He's a defensive guy. He's a defensive mind. Clippers team has, 2 of the 2 6-mans that we were all talking about with Montrezl Harrell and Luke Williams. And now you're like, I don't know what's going on because we never thought that there could be a chance that the Denver Nuggets could be in the Western Conference Finals. I'm still picking the Clippers, but the chances now are getting higher and higher. No one thought you might see Denver and the Los Angeles Lakers play each other. very interesting to see because with these NBA playoffs, it's been so confusing and just so many surprises. Even with the Miami Heat playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're playing the Boston Celtics. Like I don't think anyone picked them to be in it.
No, I really don't think anybody had Miami and Boston. Maybe some people had Boston making the East Finals.
Oh, yeah.
I think people see that, but Miami definitely not. And I really don't know who's going to win that series. I love both of those teams. I guess I'll go with Miami. I'll say Miami wins that series. They are tough as nails.
Yeah,
that Heat team is.
I think it's going to come down to 3-point shooting. Boston is struggling from that 3-point line, and we know Miami can shoot. They have a lot of weapons, and the way they do it too, it's like they make these big shots when it matters, and you're still shocked by it. You're like, Miami? This is Miami Heat? I mean, Jimmy Butler said that they are going to come out guns blazing, and they really are.
No, and they've got. And I will say Boston does have guys that they can throw at Miami, and they can throw at Jimmy Butler, but Miami also has guys that they can throw at Boston's elite scorers too. So I mean, it is going to be an amazing series. I bet it goes 7.
And let's not forget Gordon Hayward. There's still some questions on if he's going to be able to return. We know he was in his quarantine bubble. So will we get to see him in this series? And I think if Gordon Hayward plays, and that this is a totally different story that we're talking about with this matchup. And over the weekend, let's get to our last point of the day. Just some crazy, sad, I can't believe it news for our city, for University of Memphis. We found out that they have had to postpone their matchup against Houston that was supposed to be played this weekend due to a positive COVID test. Not just one, it's like multiple people. It's being reported that over 20 guys tested positive, and through contact tracing, there could be almost 40 guys who have to quarantine. And it's all due to some social activity that was not football activity related and could have been involving a party, a social gathering. What's being reported is saying a party bus. We haven't gotten confirmation on that, but hearing this news, I mean, heartbreaking.
It stinks. They played one game.
Mm-hmm.
They played one game. Like, it does. It stinks. And you have ready to vote today. I think the Big Ten's going to be voting today or tomorrow that they're probably going to resume play in, like, less than a month, which seems crazy. No, it stinks. It does. It stinks. They were all excited to play. And it's like you got through one game, and now you're having to suspend your operations.
I mean, you go back to it where it's like this was the issue that we were all worried about is what we're asking college athletes, 18 to 21, 22-year-olds to kind of make the right decisions and be in a bubble without being in a bubble. You can't do certain things everyone can do. And we can't forget there is a pandemic going on. And obviously they reported that no one was having severe symptoms. But when you think about what could have been the alternative, it's a very scary thing to see happen. And what could, you don't want it to happen to anybody else or any other football program, but it's a lesson learned. And I cannot imagine what they are going through the football program, but we won't see them take the field this weekend, and still a lot of questions still left to be asked and answered.
Hopefully they can get back to it if they want to, and that's what they choose to do. Hopefully, they don't lose too many games.
Yeah. All right, Roser, thanks for joining me with this edition of 3 Point Stance presented by Mountain Dew. I hope your 49ers get a victory next week so that we can see you and even in a happier mood. But I'm exhausted just from the weekend that was because there was just so much going on. So I'm going to go take a nap, like very, very long nap.